Hello and welcome to Heart of the Matter. My name is Omotayo. Now, in Nigeria, in the past couple of years, the healthy, fit farm movement has become all the rage. From healthy foods to fit farm to people running on the roads, it has become a real craze. But beyond just being a craze, some people are starting businesses pursuing the healthy food movement and encouraging this healthy lifestyle. Today, we are speaking with Yinka Obagun, creator and CEO of Zoomabar Granola Bar, on her process and why she decided to take this bold move. You don't want to miss this. Hi, Yinka.
Hi, Omotayo.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you
Lovely
for
to have
inviting
you.
me.
Lovely to have you here. So let's start with, what were you doing before you started Zoomabar?
So I worked as a lawyer.
Okay.
And I was in law school, and I just wanted to do something that I always wanted to make a difference in any way I could, and I came from a family of entrepreneurs, and that inspired me to want to have something and actually give back to society in a way. So, and I never really knew what I wanted to do, to be honest. I just always knew I wanted to manufacture something because my father was a manufacturer, and I always wanted to do that. And Zoomabar happened by happenstance. It wasn't something I was looking at doing. It wasn't something I had ever thought I would do, and it just happened. So I was in law school in Buhari, and I was thinking about things I would eat in Buhari because food poisoning. So I thought, what's the easiest thing that I could take with me to Buhari? And I thought, oh, Nature Valley. So I bought a lot of Nature Valley packs, and I just had that. And a friend of mine said, at that point, I was trying to lose weight. So my friend said, Yinka, are you really trying to lose weight with Nature Valley? And I was a bit confused because I thought, oh, but they're healthy.
Right.
And he was like, have you ever checked the back of a Nature Valley pack? And then when I saw that, I was like, okay, so I can't eat Nature Valley anymore. So what would I eat? So I kept looking for alternatives to Nature Valley, and I found one in a supermarket in Lagos. And she was charging 3,200 for a pack that was made with butter, made with condensed milk, just made with loads of unhealthy ingredients. And I thought, surely we can do better. Surely we can find something, a credible alternative. You don't have to look to America. You don't have to look to London. We can find something in Nigeria that we can make, buy Nigeria to grow the Naira. And so that was how Zoomabar was birthed, really.
Right. Wow. Wow. Okay. So one thing that I want to jump on there is the idea that even though some things look healthy, I guess depending on your goals, but,
yes.
You have to look at the pack.
Yes.
So so all those things that are written at the back, you had to learn what those meant?
So for me, I just went back and then I just looked at the fat content, and then I just looked at so many other things and thought the sugar, the carbs, and then there's nothing wrong if the carbs are high, because there's good carbs and then there's bad carbs.
Right.
And these are all things I've had to learn on this Zoomabar journey as well. There's good fat, there's bad fat, there's monosaturated, unsaturated, polysaturated. You're just learning all sorts, and this has never ever been my area, to be honest, because before Zoomabar, I was a big junk food connoisseur. And so doing Zoomabar has been a leap from, something I wouldn't do this normally. But then I just wanted to give people an alternative and say, you don't have to go to America to look for something else. we can actually do this in Nigeria. And so far, it's been a rewarding journey. Very challenging, but very rewarding as well.
Okay. There's so much from fitness to the idea of creating our own.
Yes.
So one of the things that we like to talk about on this show is social impacts and giving back, which is what you've been talking about a lot. Beyond kind of like just complaining, because a lot of young people these days, we're complaining on Instagram, the country is this, the country is that. But for me, this is one way that you are practically making a difference. You know, it's affecting health. It's also kind of you manufacturing and all of that stuff. Can you talk about how your business has grown and the lives you're actually impacting, like your staff strength? Like how is that part? How are you seeing people's lives kind of be affected by your product?
Okay. So we only started in April this year. So we only started in April. We're still very young, but I wanted to make sure that Zoomabar wasn't just your regular bar, and so if you wanted to export it, you can.
Right.
However, that has proved a bit difficult because there are no preservatives in it, and so it doesn't have a long shelf life.
Right.
I refuse to put numbers or any of those harmful ingredients in it to make sure, you know, to lengthen the shelf life. I just wanted to make sure it was as fresh and healthy as possible. So it's been rewarding because I started with just me making the bars. So me and the steward in the house actually, who actually became a Zoomabar ambassador, connoisseur. And then now I've grown to a staff strength of 4 people. So it's not as, and every day we're learning new things. I mean, someone I trusted, one of my members of my staff, I shouldn't say 4 anymore, we're now 2, was actually stealing. So, you know, you keep learning new ways of improving your business. And for me, I had always known I would have teething problems in the first year. So trying to surmount them, overcome them, and instead of seeing them as challenges, see them as, you know, opportunities to make the brand stronger. So that's what I've started doing. So, yes.
So just off that, and all the challenges that you're talking about, because a lot of people want to go into entrepreneurship and they think it's quite glamorous, and there are lots of, there's a tough learning curve, but also going into a field that you had to learn everything. How did you come up with the recipe?
So I have to say, like, I really wouldn't be here without Moji Aina. Moji Aina is the CEO of Moji Magic and Pod Chocolates. That's another brilliant brand. Her chocolates are yummy, and she uses locally grown cocoa from Nigeria. Without Moji, I really wouldn't be here. So I'd never baked before. Never. My cooking in the kitchen was to make jollof rice, you know, chicken, gizdo. It was a very limited. So once I went to the supermarket and saw how, you know, saw that there was a gap in the market for bars. You had people who had granola, but not granola bars. And for someone like me, I would grab this, have this with my green tea, and, you know, I'm good till dinner, really, once I've had this. So it wasn't an easy way. It wasn't very easy coming up with the recipe. I had to, Moji taught me how to make the first batch. And then she said, Yinka, you have to go back and find a recipe that works for you. So I think I was in the kitchen every day for 6 weeks, practicing different recipes. I'll do one, my mom will be like, oh, you know, it's too sweet. I'll do another one, she'll be like, ofi coconuts, you know what I mean, the magic coconuts, because she's allergic to coconuts. So, and then I realized I wanted coconuts to be in it. So I just kept going back and forth until I arrived at a recipe I was happy with. So I went out with Moji once, and we were going to this bakery in Ikoyi, and she was closing down. And I had brought the bars for Moji, and then I thought, oh, let's, you know, this is another batch. I think it was batch 100 and something. Just try. So she now ate it and she was like, oh, I actually really like it. So I thought, this is what you say every time. You like it, but... So the owner of the bakery comes and he's like, what are you eating? And Muji gives it to her. And she loves it. And then another person comes and they're like, oh, I actually really like it. So we're like, okay, so this is the recipe we would use.
Right.
So, and we just went back and forth, because the problem is you try recipes, at times you forget. So coming back to the recipe that you actually, so that I had actually made was this one, and we just went from there.
Yeah. Oh, so you said you were in the kitchen cooking and doing this, baking rather, and experimenting with this for 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
What was happening with your job?
So, luckily, I was working with my dad.
Okay.
So I had a lot of free time.
Right.
Free time in the evening, I mean, not your 9 to 5. Right. So I would come home in the evening and then I'll start practicing and just making different batches and hoping that it tastes nice. So I would go to different places and then I'll just give it to people. And because I don't bake normally, anytime I gave people any bar, they just thought, oh, Yinka has this habit of promoting other Nigerian businesses. Right. So they thought it was someone else's brand I was promoting. So they would give me honest feedback. And then they would say, me like it, cause sweet. And then you would have your finesse speaking people, oh, it's not like Nature Valley. It's not, it's not hard. It's not crunchy. I'm like, yeah, Nature Valley is crunchy because it has sugar in it. Right. This has no sugar, no added sugar, no preservatives. There's a debate about whether or not honey is sugar. But we put a little bit of honey in it because we want it to stick because it's a bar. Right. And even the honey we use has no sugar in it because you find that a lot of honey nowadays is actually mixed with sugar.
Oh, really?
Yes. So before we sell any Zoomabar, we do the honey tests. We put honey on the floor, and then if ants don't come to it, then it's pure honey. If you have ants coming to it, it's...
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's something I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to continue this chat, but we have to take a quick break. Okay. All right, we're still here with Yinka. Just stick around. We'll be right back.
What's up, Daddy-O?
You will not be welcome in this house until you have completed your NYC in Bauchi.
This is not the kind of trip we want to remember. Okay. I'm kind of documenting my experiences.
What are you doing?
I want my fans to meet you.
You shouldn't have come. And I can't wait for the same breeze that blew you here to blow you back to where you belong to.
I don't understand what you're saying, but you need to get your finger out my face.
You cannot survive in Bauchi without me, Pop.
It's all just a part of his plan. If I don't go back with him, it's all gone.
What is wrong with you?
It's my life, and I'll live it as I see fit.
You don't control how I feel.
You're reposting papers.
And if I refuse?
The question is, will you?
Welcome back to the Heart of the Matter. We're still here with Yinka Obagun, CEO of Zoomabar. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All right, so we're talking about all these ingredients, and you talked about the honey test. And there's this fit fam life. So you said you were somebody who really enjoyed junk food before you started this. How did you make the conversion? Because the truth is, even though you're saying it's sugar-free and there's just a little bit of honey, for me, who still has a sweet tooth, I may be like, this thing is just another one of those tasteless, healthy things. So how did you, who had a sweet tooth before, kind of come here? And is it really like for someone like me, will I enjoy it?
I think so. I think for someone like me, what I do is... I think for some people, they eat it and they love it immediately. Right. And for some other people, they eat it and they're like, oh, it's an acquired taste. So the first time, they're like, oh, I'm not sure. And then the second time, they like it. And they're like, oh, actually, it's grown on me. Right. And for some people, they genuinely hate it, like Marmite. So you really can't have a product that everybody loves. So that's another thing you come to terms with, because when someone says to you, oh, I don't like your product, it's almost as if they put a dagger in your heart. And you're like, you know how many weeks I slaved? But, it's one of those things. It's, for me, because I have a sweet tooth, I eat this and I'm okay with my green tea. And then if I want to, if I just want variety, I'll put it in, crumble some in yogurt.
Right, okay.
Have that. Crumble some, even in your ice cream, can't come and kill yourself in this fit farm journey. And then, just because it's made with dates, it's made with almond butter, with almonds, and so many other ingredients. I'm sure we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But these are healthy things as well. So you can have that with your ice cream and not feel like you're cheating as well. Okay. So you don't have to think. I remember I went to a supermarket once and I saw someone pick up a Zoomabar. So I asked, why did you pick one up? And he was like, I like it. I can eat it, I can eat it and drink my Guinness afterwards. So whatever works for you, Zoomabar would work with your diet.
Yeah, okay. So in this process of like entrepreneurship in Nigeria, you have talked about how there were some challenges with staff. Are there any other challenges that took you by surprise?
I think for me, every day is a learning experience. Okay. So one of the major challenges I thought would be, I thought it would be quite easy to get a NAFDAC number and, it would be a walk in the park because we're doing this whole Buy Naija to grow the Naira movement, but it wasn't, So many corners you had to cut, so many, not corners in terms of illegal corners, corners in terms of you're thinking, why are we going through all this? There has to be a way that the process can be streamlined to ensure that more people actually more people actually get NAFDAC numbers. Yeah. But it's such, it's very bureaucratic. And so that in itself is off-putting. So a lot of people don't have NAFDAC numbers, not because they don't want to, but because the process of getting one is so bureaucratic. Right. The actual steps you have to go through are very good because if not because of NAFDAC, you would have a lot of people who would have died from all sorts of illnesses related to food. So, but the actual process of getting one was a long-winded, discouraging process. But because I knew I always wanted to have a NAFDAC number, I was ready to stick through it and just push it out. Another thing is actually marketing your product. So going to supermarkets, going to different places, and trying to get them to understand what you're doing, what you're selling. When I started, and I'm still new, so I'm the one who goes about marketing the product. Yeah. Most times you live with, oh, I want to take you out on a date, I want to do this, I want to do that. And it's almost like they're not seeing you. They're just seeing this girl that I want to take on a date. So the product actually isn't. They're not.
How do you deal with that? Because obviously you are coming up to somebody and you're saying, this is a product I would like to showcase. I would like you to put this in your store. Yeah. And then you leave with proposition. How do you deal with that and still keep going without being discouraged?
I think for me, I just laugh it off and say, I'm married. And then I show them my sister's kids. My kids, not my sister's children. And then I show them my sister's kids and say, these are my children. And then we just laugh about it and say, oh, I'm spoken for. Right. And then we go to the business of the day. Right. But I think as women, we would always be subjected to that. For some people, they find it they find it rewarding or not rewarding, but they like the fact that they're getting this attention, and some other people don't. But it's one of those things in life. You deal with it, you move on. It's not, you haven't been. People have gone through us and they've come out okay. Yeah. So for me, it's just one of those things, and then you move past it. Yeah,
I really like that because on the show we'll be talking to some guests who talk about feminism and women and the society and all of that stuff. And I like the fact that your approach is not to say, "Oh my God, how terrible," but to just be very mellow about it and just very practical. It's like, well, I would like this. This is what you're offering me, and laughing it off, not because you condone it, but because you have work to do.
Yes, and there's an end goal in mind. Yeah. So I know that I need them to have 140 Zoomabars in their store if possible. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to let that derail me from my
Right.
end goal.
Right.
You keep moving and you laugh it off. You know, they'll always do things to upset you. If they're
Yeah.
not toasting you, they're speaking to you in a manner you don't like.
Right.
It's life. You
Right.
move past it and you try not to be as emotional or hold on to things in any way anything that's, you know, just tries to steal my joy or
Yeah.
just compromises on that joy. I just think, okay, I can do without this,
Yeah.
you know, and then I move on.
Yeah, I really like that. What one skill or character building trait do you think that this has built in you since you started?
I'm very emotional. So Zoomabar has taught me how to be less emotional. I mean, like my driver, for example, I just got a new driver, and the other day I kept sneezing like back to back, and he couldn't even say bless you. So I said, "What's wrong with you? Why can't you say bless you?" And then I thought, that is his prerogative if he doesn't want to say bless you. So I even apologized to him for lashing out, you know. And then the funny thing was the next day, because I sneeze every day in the morning. So the next day he said, I just sneezed once. And he was like, bless you, ma, you need tissue, ma. Are you okay, ma? But, you know, it's taught me not to hold on to things and, you know, not to feel like, you know, you're alone. I have people. I think Zoomabar has really shown me that you're not an island. You have people who are there for you, who are rooting for you, who are cheering for you, who want the best for you. And at the same time, you have people who genuinely don't really care about you. But Zoomabar has taught me to see the best in people and not to be as emotional as I used to be. So I would hold on to things, and if someone has upset me, I wouldn't speak to them. And then all my friends would be like, Yinka has put you on timeout, Abby. And then now I'm learning not to do all that, you know. I would call you and tell you this was what you did. I wasn't happy with what you did. And I'm not there yet. It's a work in progress, but I'm definitely better now than where I was. And it's because of Zoomabar, because you're interacting with so many people from so different classes of life. And then I remember when I started, I thought, can you talk to me like that? And then I thought, who are you? It's a humbling process. You start, you know, with this high opinion of who you think you are, and then someone just lets you know that actually, no, you're not. And then you go past it, you move past, and it's been a really interesting journey.
Sounds like a real maturing process.
Yes, it has been.
Where else is Zoomabar stopped?
So we're in Ebano, in Hubmart, in Delia's, in Mopeth, in MedPlus, Earth Blend juices, Nully Juice, Melly Berries in Parkview here, Renee Supermarkets, where else? And you can also order us online at cathub.com/Zoomabar. Oh, and we're in Le Pisseria and La Pointe. I keep forgetting how many places we're in.
Yeah, and obviously it's growing, it's increasing. And in less than a year.
In less than a year.
Well done,
Thank you.
Okay, so just run us through like the ingredients of one of these bars, because you're talking about all this honey and things.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is your Zoomabar, and it's made with oats, dates, almonds, almond butter, peanut butter, sunflower seeds.
So let me go along with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sunflower seeds, honey, local, pure, undiluted,
not sugar honey.
not sugary honey, flax seeds and chia seeds, cinnamon, salt, vanilla extract, and raisins, currants, and sultanas.
Wow.
So it's packed with, you know, just one pack a day helps reduce your cholesterol, helps with weight management, helps with, it's made with good protein as well. So it's loaded with potassium, magnesium, B vitamins, vitamin E, all the good stuff.
All the good stuff. All the good stuff. Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, do you plan to do like different flavors, different products? Yes.
So
that's in the works.
We started with just one so far, and that's this one.
Yeah.
So Next year, we're planning to do one without any nuts as well.
Okay.
So a
'cause there's
nut-free
people who are
version for people who are
allergic to
allergic to
nuts.
nuts. And that will probably be gluten-free as well.
Okay.
Because we have a few people who keep asking for
gluten-free
gluten-free oats.
options, yeah.
So that's in the
That's
works for
it.
next year.
Yeah?
Yes.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back. Okay, so we're going to a section that is called Rapid Fire. Number one, are you ready?
Yes.
If you could paint anything, what would you paint?
I have no idea.
Yeah, they're really random.
Paint anything. I'll paint the, what's it called now? The picture is coming, Art Theatre.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
I love that. Okay, cool. What is the most interesting thing you have in your purse or wallet? The most interesting.
Lollipops.
Lollipops.
I always have lollipops in my bag.
Look at
I told
you.
you I have a sweet tooth, so
Yeah.
I'm working on it. It's not going to go over. It's not going to go
Overnight.
away overnight. So.
I love it.
And then
Okay.
it gives me gum as well, so that's my justification, because it turns into
So it's like
bubble
2 in
gum.
1.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the nicest thing you've ever done for someone?
What's the nicest thing? I don't know. It's very.
What's a nice thing you've done for someone?
I think, to be honest, I do so many things, and
Oh, look at
people
you.
keep coming and saying, "Oh, you did this, you did that." And to be honest, once I've done something, I forget about it.
Right.
So I just do it, and then that's
it's
it.
gone.
And for me, it's not. I pay school fees for people, for my staff, and a lot of times when they start working with me, they don't really think that I'll do that. But for some
Right.
of them, I do if I
Right.
know that there's a genuine need.
Right.
For some other people, they come to me, they tell me they need their house rent paid. I do
Right.
that. For some of them, I just clear out like all the some clothes in my wardrobe and then
Yeah.
give it to their wives and say,
Right.
just let your wife start her own Okrika business or something. So,
right.
because I'm always buying clothes, so
Right.
and then I give out a lot. So I do a lot and not expecting any reward.
Anything.
So I guess that's why I can remember.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it. You seem to have a real heart for people because,
Yes.
I mean, even in the learning curve that you talked about with Zoomabar, it wasn't like, oh, I've learned how to be ruthless. It was
Oh,
like,
no.
you've learned how to just get along with people better.
yes.
I really like that. All right. If you could get a yacht, what would you call it?
Zuma. Zuma.
Yeah, okay. That's a good one.
Zuma.
That's a good one. All right. And the last one is a bit deeper. What is your lifelong dream?
To make a difference and to make sure that my legacy actually outlives me. So it's not about you anymore. It's about the
Right.
lives you've touched. It's about the people you've spoken to and the amount of people that have actually felt something positively from your life, not because of anything, but because you could and because you could give them something to hope for. You could let them, because of you, they
Yeah.
felt like life could go on. Because you have so many people who are depressed, who are sad, who are going through so many things. And if you can just make one person's life better every day, it really does go a long way. And so for me, I find that I want to leave the world a better place than I found it. I don't want to be someone who just acquires and amasses wealth without making a difference, without making an impact, without doing something that actually touches people's lives.
Yeah.
And I feel that's what I'm called to do. So it's not just about Zoomabar. I think Zoomabar actually, Zuma means my names are Zainab, Olayinka, Okpeyemi, Mudukpe, Abebi, Zuma, and then the bar. So that's the
So it's
story.
like it's a legacy.
A legacy. So
thing.
for me, it's actually doing something that outlives you and generations from now, people talk about Heinz, for example.
Right.
It's still, people talk about the Heinz legacy and Zoomabar might get there, should get there by the
yes.
grace of God, and it just takes, a step at a time,
Yeah.
and we try and make a difference. And that's what Zoomabar is about, so making a difference and finding ways to make everyone else's life meaningful in whatever little way we can.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. That's our time for today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So much. I mean, we're having a conversation about Zoomabar, and then we went all the way to like changing the world, and I really,
Did
really
a
love
360.
it. Yeah. All right, and that's our show for today. Thank you for joining us. Please remember to follow us on social media. We are on Instagram at HOTMTV. We're on Facebook at Heart of the Matter, and we're on YouTube as HOTM channel. See you next week.